Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this panel discussion. And thank you for BBIF for allowing me to moderate this esteemed panel. My name is Rob West, and I'm with TD Bank, and I'm in community development. I cover Central North Florida. I work with a lot of nonprofits that help small business owners. So I'm happy to be here. So the first person I'll have introduce herself is Anna, Dr. Etienne. Tell the group a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Anna Etienne, and I am the director for FIU's first food incubator. Prior to COVID, I had the pleasure of tasting lots of local foods, working with small businesses as they work on their abilities to become sustainable and scale. We're lucky enough to leverage all the resources that FIU has to offer and partner with organizations such as BBIF. And so we're really excited to be here and happy to answer your questions.
All right. Thank you, Anna. Christina, how are you doing today?
Hi, thanks. Welcome everyone, and good to be here. My name is Christina Graham. I'm the president of Catapult, which is a privately funded 501c3 nonprofit incubator in Lakeland, Florida. And we exist to provide space, education, and funding for a variety of startups. We have everything from tech to culinary. We really don't focus in on one specific industry, just really here to serve the community, and excited to be here as well to answer any questions.
All right, thank you. Thank you for being on the panel. Hey, Talpha, how are you doing?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Robert. Many thanks again to the BBIF team to allow me to serve as a panelist. I'm Talpha Harris, the Entrepreneurship Hub Manager at Bridgeway Capital. We're a CDFI in Pittsburgh, PA, and serve the majority of Western Pennsylvania. So, of course, our mission is to combat the injustices and advance opportunities by building capacity, investing capital, and developing underserved areas. So the Entrepreneurship Hub works within that to build business owners' capacities by providing group and one-on-one TA, which is the majority of what I do.
All right, great. Thank you. And I forgot to mention some housekeeping items. So if you could, everyone, go to your video, and there's 3 buttons in the upper right-hand corner. If you could click on that and click hide all non-video participants, that'll be awesome. Also in the chat room, there's a Q&A function. So be sure to drop some questions for these panelists. Thank you very much. So we're just gonna jump right on in. So Anna, I was looking at your website, and you have an incubator for culinary arts. Tell us about that industry. What's some of the trends you're seeing?
Well, as an industry in South Florida, hospitality is a very big deal. Aside from the cultures, the diverse cultures that we have here, we do have lots of tourists that have been able to benefit from all of our foods. So if you're Haitian, there's opportunities there, Jamaican, Venezuelan, Cuban. So there's all of these, we have lots of culture here. And so with that comes lots of food. And FIU decided to open up its doors. We have an industrial kitchen within the university that's about 3,000 square feet. And prior to COVID, we were able to provide access to the kitchen so that small businesses could transition out of their home kitchens to a shared commercial kitchen space and work towards becoming more sustainable. We also have FIU's faculty, which is a team of food scientists, F&B experts, and they also work alongside the food entrepreneurs as they shelf life test their products, work on their nutritional facts, and pitch and hopefully get into a few retail stores. We have been able to help some of our companies land contracts with hotels, with certain supermarkets. And so we've been able to see locally the impact of access. And so basically that's our work. Our work is leveraging all that is FIU, and I'm an alum, so I know, okay. Leveraging all of the resources at the university, but also partnering with multiple organizations that can provide the things that we're not in a position to provide. And so it's pretty much a quilted project is what I like to call it here in South Florida, partnering with other organizations and providing a pipeline of resources and services for our small businesses.
Okay. So with all the support with mentors and faculty members, what are some of the biggest learnings your entrepreneurs are finding out?
Prior to COVID, I'll do a pre and post. I feel like that's fair. Prior to COVID, I think the biggest issue was breaking small businesses out of the silo mentality, right? Because sometimes you feel like I can't share this information. I need to figure this out by myself. And once we were able to break through those barriers, we were able to implement the philosophy of building a temporary team until you're able to scale into your own team. So sometimes you think I have to be the accountant, I have to be the baker, I have to be the salesperson, I have to be all these things, when other companies are not necessarily experts in all these things, but they're in a position to build the right team in order to scale that. And so it's a lot of team building activities, resources, teaching them how to leverage what's available to them at the stage that they're in, and functioning at their pace. You know, sometimes I think with some of these, some programs, it feels very locked, right? I have to hurry up and figure this out within the 3 months you give me, and then it's a wrap.
Sure.
But programs similar to everyone on the panel, we like to work with the company at their pace according to their needs, because you know most of our entrepreneurs also have families. They may also have multiple jobs, and we have to take these factors into account.
Okay, thank you. And Talpha, tell me a unique way your organization works with small business owners.
Yeah, so we have a specific program, the Erie Minority Owned Business Accelerator. It works just like an accelerator, but we provide consultants to help them grow their personal collateral and assets. So we start with customer validation and then move through the components of developing their business plans. And then we provide them, like I said, with the consultants to actually help them execute on the basics and get them capital ready for the lending pipeline. So the active cohort exists for 9 months, and then we monitor their progress for another 9 months. So we're not just letting them go kind of by the wayside, kind of like Dr. Anna said, but really helping them to move along and move their progress forward.
All right, thank you. Christina, you're in Lakeland, I'm in Lakeland.
Hey.
863.
That's right.
So tell me some of the challenges your business owners are facing.
Sure. Yeah. So I would say one of the challenges related to COVID specifically is a lot of them are figuring out how to do business in a completely different environment. And so figuring out how do they reach customers when a lot of it was face-to-face beforehand. And so we've been really trying to put together group panel discussions around that, of just how do you reach a new clientele? How do you reach customers in a completely new environment? How do you get creative in this space? So that's really one specific to COVID, but I would just say one that I hear a lot of entrepreneurs struggling with is just a real understanding of who their target market is. That's so key in having a successful business, is just getting an understanding of your customer, what their needs are, what do they want, what are they expecting to pay for this product or service that you're providing. And so just really being in tune to your customer, having those conversations. And for us, in a lot of the programs we're doing, we're asking them to have conversations with their customers or potential customers to really get that understanding and baseline so that they can be successful and lay a strong foundation before they move forward.
Okay, thank you. And also, Christina, what trends are you seeing in Central Florida with entrepreneurs? Is there a certain industry that's popping up or thriving in COVID?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. For us, so we're industry agnostic. We don't really focus in on a specific industry. I would say we've seen a lot of marketing recently. That's something that's been growing in our area. And then we also have a growing culinary scene here in Lakeland. So that's just something that we didn't really have a lot of previously, and we're really excited to grow that here in Lakeland, and just the diversity of offerings and the types of food options we're able to have here. And so we also have a commercial kitchen, and so just seeing that grow has been really fun and honestly exciting just for even the residents of Lakeland to get to experience those food startups.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So with your clients, you mentioned food. What I'm seeing with my clients, a lot of the food industries were cash-based. Now they're having to switch to cashless payments as well as curbside. I'll start with Anna. How have you seen that transition? How are you assisting those clients?
Right. I think last year, everyone had to make a quick transition, whether you were online or not, to your nearest Squarespace. No, for sure, some of the entrepreneurs who used to do extremely well on the weekends, and in South Florida, our farmers markets are a very big deal. And so I've had clients who made more on a weekend for the year than people made 40 hours a week. Okay. And so so for them to experience this shift quickly is something we were attempting to work on, but culturally it was really hard. And I did not have a crystal ball. We were working towards getting a lot of our companies to transition to various online platforms to make their lives a lot easier. But also keeping in mind that they're also comfortable with doing business the way they know how to do business. And so COVID was like this fast-paced slap in the face. And what we noticed was the companies who were ready for it tripled in sales that quarter. Like they murdered. They murdered with the Uber Eats app. They murdered with the Grubhubs, with the pickup. They killed. And for the ones that didn't, they experienced like between a 20 to 80% decline, right? In a quarter. It was like a fast turnaround. And so introducing the conversation of expanding your portfolio, meaning just like if you had a portfolio of work, right? You might do art with paint, you might do art with noodles. There are multiple ways to sell your product. And that farmer's market may have been one way, but there are multiple ways to get that product out there. And so that was the start of the conversation, and being in a position to distribute your product online and being able to, in a position to take that, to accept your coins online and not face to face, is also a blessing. It's a plus. It's not, I'm not subtracting from the way that you traditionally do business. It's saying, hey, I did it one way. Now here are 3 or 4 options for me as a business. And so in the future, if something happens again, I'm better positioned, I'm better prepared. So we spent half of 2020 working on an online platform that could connect the dots for small businesses, but we've also been manually supporting them. So the manual support with the technical assistance, we actually were able to get a few online resources like the Google team, the Wix team, to give some free stuff and walk them through the process of building, their online following. And so I definitely can't say it was a solo project. It took a few partners, but introducing them to the possibility and that they would not have to be alone in the process, they were more open to making that type of transition.
Okay, thank you. And Talpha, how about you? How are you assisting your clients with using technology and marketing?
Yeah, so we look at it as in marketing, but also just their overall operations, and just making sure that they're able to function just with technology in general. So we train on certain tech platforms such as like Microsoft Suite, Word, Excel, things like that, starting from the basics and then incorporating everything that they will need to survive in the COVID environment, such as like various video conferencing platforms, Google products such as Drives and Docs, so that they can continue to share with their staffs and maintain their operation. Our whole program is about creating sustainable practices for business owners. So we're teaching them how to fish while also expanding their capacity. So we train them in areas such as they're doing their designs and things like Canva, where they can just look up a social media post in a couple of minutes, and marketing with social media platforms and those best practices, of course. And we just continue to go through all of the areas of operations. So for finance, we teach QuickBooks. And we also teach how to bid and estimate on certain projects using estimating software. To actually train on the back end, we use the basics, of course, video conferencing and things, but we also continue to do the one-on-ones through video conferencing workshops, as well as coffee hours. So we'll just sit on a call and allow clients to drop in and talk to us about their marketing efforts. And then we'll also just coach them through it. And that's just like a one-on-one drop in of whatever they may need at that time. So we try to use tech just not only in marketing, but teach them how to use it across all areas of their operation.
Okay, good. You know, as a banker, we're really stepping up our game when it comes to treasury management. That way clients can capture payments faster and also protect against fraud, as well as touchless payments. So Christina, what other things are you seeing technology-wise that's impacting or coming up soon to help small business owners?
Sure. Yeah. So we've been doing some similar things that the others have mentioned. In the midst of COVID, we ended up launching a mini consumer packaged goods accelerator program. And that was all about transitioning from that in-person retail to an online sales environment or to wholesale. And so really just helping them with everything. And we would bring in experts through those Zoom sessions that could talk to them about their online presence and really give them candid feedback about, hey, when I search your business name on the internet, I am not coming up with anything. So just those types of things, that how are their customers going to find them, was also key as they were transitioning to a completely new sales environment. And then we did do a lot of just Zoom events. We've done some hybrid events as well. And so we meet with our members, all of our members. We try to sit down with several times a year and just try to figure out what are they struggling with, what are their pain points, and how do we address those. So that's typically how we get our topic driven Q&A sessions. And so a lot of those have been driven by really just the shift in the pandemic and how they're doing business from sales to marketing. And so just bringing in people that can talk to them about those transitions. And then we've also seen a lot of our members, we really try to empower our members to, if they have a specific area of expertise, we want them to be sharing that. And so we offer up our spaces for free to members that are going to do events that are open to the rest of the community. And so if they're doing an event on cybersecurity or e-commerce marketing, they can do that in our location and offer that to our members, just kind of like a mastermind type of group. And people are really starting to catch on to that and start doing a lot more of it.
Okay. And Christina, so we all became more aware of social injustice and economic inequities. Are you seeing that with your clients, particularly, minority small business owners, veteran owners, women? What are you seeing in that aspect?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think we're all more sensitive to that, and we're all trying to do our part to be a good player in that area. And so we do have several businesses that work out of Catapult that are in that space. And so we're trying to be the best advocate we can for them and help them in any way we can. And a lot of that really has been awareness. In our community, there's a lot of businesses here and people just don't know about them. And so we're trying to partner alongside them and bring awareness to the services that some of our minority companies are offering, or veteran owned or women owned. And so we have some really solid partnerships in the community, and we've just been trying to leverage those to get the word out so that we can continue to support these businesses in our community. Okay,
thank you. And Anna, did you have any clients who were turned down for PPP, and what were some of the reasons?
Ooh, okay. I did not know we were going to go there.
A lot of it's technical assistance. They didn't have a accounting process.
You know what? So prior to working with my current program, I used to work for the Goldman Sachs Accelerator, and we were a part of launching that. And so the types of companies that came out of that, different size, right? Now I'm dealing with more micro businesses. And so when going through the process of the bridge loan, the PPP, and all the different resources that were coming out at the time, you know, I was very hopeful because, you know, some of our businesses, they were ready, paperwork ready. And when we witnessed a lot of the rejection letters, that bridge loan really did throw me off my rocker. And either, you know, they were either rejected or they received a fraction of what they asked for. And then some of the other companies that I have a friendship with, much larger companies, received everything that they asked for. I was not in a good place, but it did open up the conversation with, you know, certain local commissioners, certain local leaders, where I was able to have that kind of conversation about, you know, what you say is the access for small businesses that are coming from Brown and Black communities is not the access, and here's the proof. Here's the perfect storm. What are you going to do about it? And so that was the start of a few conversations. There were a few additional funds that were created in South Florida from that. And there are a few more initiatives that are out there. And I'm actually currently working with the mayor's office with her equity and inclusion department to address some of this. So, you know, for those of us that are on the ground, we are working with the businesses, we are helping them go through the process. They are meeting the requirements, but they're not, for some reason, they're not breaking through. We're in a better position to be a voice on their behalf. Now, don't get me wrong, there are certain companies that didn't have access to organizations such as what we do, right? And, you know, they may have registered themselves as a sole proprietor. They may have done certain things that were structurally off, or they weren't literally ready. Okay, in all fairness, I'll give you that. But for the businesses that were ready, but are not as large as a business that has several locations, you know, what we wanted was fairness to access. And so I think that's what I got out of out of last year. I became more active. Never saw myself in that space, but here I am.
Well, BBIF is a PPP lender and has some other loan products that could help Black and Brown communities, small business owners. So Talpha, there's a question in the Q&A, and I'm going to try to break it down. There's a client she works with, 100 business owners. She is constantly seeing, he or she is seeing a constant mismanagement of financial investments due to poor decision making. How can you support those businesses? How can you help small business owners make better financial decisions?
Yeah, so we depend heavily on our consultants. So we start with financial strategy and understanding where a business is before awarding the capital. So doing a full rework of their bookkeeping, of their accounting, helping the business owner to understand like what they can take on as an expense, what they should take on as an expense, where to spend it, how to spend it, why to spend it. And we really work with the business owner to understand that, and then also work internally within our team to understand how we can enable the business owner to move forward with those financial decisions. We also monitor it throughout the life of their access to the capital to make sure that they are continuing to keep their books in order, continuing to make those right decisions. And we kind of encourage business owners to lean on us as a mentor to continue to help them, I guess, grow in that process.
Okay, great. And Christina, I got a question for you. And the ask is, how is Catapult funded? And do you have mentor volunteers?
Sure. Yeah, so we're privately funded. We've been funded by local businesses and individuals in our community. We are a membership-based organization, so all of our members pay a fee to utilize our services, get access to our space, but that probably covers about 30% of our expenses annually. Our hope, we just moved into a new location in the last year, and we're adding a maker space for anybody that wants to work with their hands. We'll have a full wood shop, metal shop, 3D printing. So anything from prototyping to small batch manufacturing, we'll be able to now service a different clientele. So we're hoping that with that and with a larger space, we'll get to about 50% of covering our expenses annually, but we actively do a lot of fundraising in the community and partnerships with some businesses as well. And was there a second part to that question? Sorry.
Do you accept mentor volunteers?
Yes, yes. We always love to partner with mentors. That's a very important piece of what we do. And we have great team and we all have our own expertise, but there's always additional expertise areas needed for the variety of industries that we serve.
Okay, and we have a few minutes left. So if each panelist could tell the audience how clients can find you. So Anna, how can potential clients find you?
You guys can find me via FIU's website, startupfiu.com. And we have several programs for other industries as well. If you're food, it's us. But we have a procurement incubator. I believe we have a few incubators that exist within the FIU startup realm. So you can check us out there.
Okay, great. And Christina, how can people find you and your programs?
Sure. Yeah, pretty much the same. CatapultLakeland.com. All of our programs are listed there. We have an events calendar as well that lists out everything that's coming up. And we do a lot that's open to the community, not just our members. And yeah, we'd love for you to check us out.
Okay. And Talpha, I know you're in PA. Do you service clients in Florida?
For all of our Zoom meetings and things like that, yes, of course, maybe not the in-person things, but COVID kind of helped out with the virtual situation. So we'd love to have you on our meetings, marketing, consulting, all of those things. And you can reach out at bridgewaycapital.org.
Okay, great. And I just want to add, for TD Bank, we are offering technical assistance as volunteers. Also on our website, we have resources, we have templates, we have videos, and we are actually offering PPP to new customers so you can apply online. So I wanted to thank Anna, Christina, Talpha, and BBIF for this session. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.